The
Cross.
Hi, my name is Anna.
And I'm Peyton.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with episode 3 of our debut versus recent analysis series, and we will be looking at another girl group. Today, we're going to be watching Red Velvet.
Le드벨벳. I'm sure you probably know, but in case you don't, Red Velvet officially debuted in 2014, but then in 2015, with the comeback Ice Cream Cake, they added Yeri as a new member. We do know the members of Red Velvet consider their debut as a group to be during Ice Cream Cake, since that's when all 5 of them started promoting together. But for the sake of more commentary and to show a larger contrast, we will be doing their debut as Happiness, since also that's like when the name Red Velvet was like first created and all that. And then their most recent after that will be Psycho.
So just like our episode 2, if you are just joining the series and you would like to know how we chose the groups that we are looking at and how we're going to be doing commentary, there is a full explanation for that in episode 1. There will also be a short explanation in the description box below.
Yeah, so we usually say how well we know the groups, but Peyton and I both know Red Velvet very well.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can just leave it at that.
Alright.
Let's get started.
Happiness!
I will be singing along to this whole thing.
I expected nothing less.
Sometimes you gotta be bold. Just rock the world.
Booyah.
Wow!
Are you happy? Change up. Wind up. Straight up.
Oh my gosh, Joy looks so young.
I know. 에코 착한 내 따라. Oh my god, the SM there that they used to try to market really hard.
Oh, the iconic, like, Red Velvet kind of blank stare, just singing.
Oh my gosh, their colors.
Did you notice that Siggy ended up being my favorite, just like after getting to know them? But I was originally thought she would be my favorite because yellow was her color.
꿀꿀자.
Oh, the little friend.
choco.
I feel like in general, one thing about it is that even today, when they do their like strictly red concepts, it still has this sort of like lots of stuff going on, very quirky, like the sort of themes around it are very similar even now.
But lately, instead of doing like strictly red or strictly velvet, lately it's been more of like a combination
Red
of
Velvet,
the two.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I love her hat. This always reminds me of those games that you play when you're little and you're like
Change the
matching
clothes?
up the, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah!
Everyone quiet. Shh.
Iconic. I love it.
Me too. She's so pretty.
I love, oh my god.
I love her. I love that line. I love her too. And her. And her.
All of them.
Where's Yuri? I also will be singing along to all of this.
This is some of my favorite styling that they have ever had. Like from hairstyles to
I love her too.
outfits to just like concept. It's one of my favorites.
The styling,
Yeah,
the background.
everything about it. But it still has that like red velvet. I love it.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. They look so good.
It's so classy. Like everything about it.
Everyone quiet.
Oh, yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. When I first heard that line, I was like, because it gets so like crunchy. Wendy. See, Sergi sings it in like a different way than Wendy does in the beginning, and it like has a different effect, and I love them.
But see, they're still doing the blank stare at the camera. Like it's just such a red velvet music video moment.
What do butterflies mean?
They could represent a lot of different things, usually change or like rebirth or something.
It's just like so creepy but refined, and
Which is the best kind of creepy.
I know,
Like,
literally. If anyone says that they don't like this song, I don't know if I can be friends with them.
right? It's a masterpiece. Like, this is literally a masterpiece. What a good finale. Disclaimer before Anna jumps into vocal comments. Obviously, there are a lot of things that we could say about Red Velvet and how they have evolved as a group since Happiness to Psycho, but in the interest of not having this video be hours and hours long, we're going to try to stick to like the big things that we see. So as always, if you think we missed something or if you have other opinions or things you'd like to share, please drop it in the comments below because we would love to hear it and continue this conversation down below.
So to start off my comments, yet again, with another group, they're improving, they're practicing, they're getting more stage experience, and like honestly with Red Velvet, even from the very beginning, from their debut, they had amazing vocalists. But honestly, the main thing that I wanted to say about Red Velvet vocally is like, yes, they do have beautiful voices individually, but they make a very good ensemble. And I mean that not just in like the distribution of voices that they have, because like they have the lower voices, mid and upper, but also the way that they blend together works very well. What I mean by that is kind of similar to what Peyton has said before on this channel for dancing. What exactly was it that you said?
It's harder to be part of an ensemble than to be a soloist because you have to match the members around you and be aware of them instead of doing your own thing.
Yeah, and it's similar to that for singing as well. There are things about singing in ensemble that like a soloist doesn't need to know. Just like listening to the other people's voices and blending with them so that your tones all match a similar color, and then also like balance so that you're not overpowering one voice. It's supposed to feel like, how is this one voice singing multiple pitches at the same time? Like it should sound that similar. And Red Velvet, I believe, is able to do that, and even more so now, because from the very beginning, they had prepared to have a distinct red concept and a distinct velvet concept. And the velvet concept is very smooth. And in order to pull off that smooth feeling, their vocals need to be able to like not just alone be smooth, but blend together seamlessly. And like they're trained for that and prepared for that. So yeah, that's one thing that I really wanted to highlight about them. I feel like this wasn't a growth commentary, but more just like, let me talk about how great Red Velvet is. But anyways, Peyton, dancing?
So I'm going to talk about two big things dance-wise. The first one, so I think the biggest change that should be like applauded. Honestly, all of the members of Red Velvet have improved, regardless of if they were in the dance line or they're not in the dance line. But I personally think the biggest change is in Wendy. She definitely, I think at debut, was the one who struggled with the dancing part of it the most. Like she was definitely more in like the vocalist role. It makes sense too, because with the parts that she's having to sing, like she has to save the most lung capacity. But like her endurance has gotten so much better. Her body control has gotten so much better. I love it. I love watching them dance together, because they also dance together really well as an ensemble too. But on that note, that's my second comment. That is something that I think they have grown into. Like Happiness, it's interesting to watch because it's very quirky, it's very upbeat. It's a lot of like jumping around, so you're not really noticing if there are like differences in technique and that sort of thing. But then when they added Yeri in Ice Cream Cake, and for like Ice Cream Cake, and I'm also thinking Dum Dum, you could tell that it felt a little bit disjointed. Like not enough for everyone watching it's gonna be like, what? But enough that if you're watching the dance, you're gonna be a little bit like, huh. And I've said this on the channel before too, the longer you dance with a group, the more cohesive you're going to be as a group. And so obviously if you take someone away or if you add someone to it, that does throw off the balance a little bit, because suddenly there's someone else on stage, you have to be aware of one more person and your surroundings and your peripherals. And so that does take some getting used to. But also, I think it has to do with the age gap, because even at debut, like yes, Joy is only 2 years younger than Seulgi and Wendy, but 2 years at that age is a lot of time, especially in like maturity in dancing. And then you had Yeri, who is 8 years younger than Irene, and that's a huge gap at that age. It's not that someone was doing something wrong, it's just the gap in body movement style is so different at that age. It's one of the reasons that like a lot of younger dancers stick with more traditional styles of dance before they break off into more niche ones as they get older, just because you like have to train your body a certain way. It's really interesting. But they've definitely like matured together as a group, because now they feel super cohesive and like they're very aware of each other. And I think that comes both from dancing together for a really long time and from the fact that they're now all in a more similar state, like maturity wise, in their dance technique. But yeah, I think those are the biggest things that I was gonna say dance wise. So should we have a conversation now?
Okay, about performance. They're great performers. Okay, done.
So I think one of the things for their live stages that has really improved are their facials. The members themselves have even said that when they debuted, their facials were over the top. It's really hard to get to a point when you're performing to be where like your facials are too much, because you're performing for an audience that's far away and there's harsh lights. But when they say over the top, or like when I'm saying over the top, it's just like they changed them too much. So when you're trying to catch it on camera, it's like that sort of thing. So now they're much better about like how long their facials stay, and it feels like a natural transition rather than like, I have to be here, now I have to be here, now I have to be here, that sort of thing.
I guess a way to describe it is like, it's less of a, oh, it's been a few seconds, I need to change my facials now, to like, oh, I'm singing this part, and like, let me emote with this expression, and then like, let me emote with this next expression. But yeah, they're great performers.
Yeah, they are great performers. But I also just think in general, we have more to say about like their concept and their image.
Yeah, fair.
So let's move on to that.
True. So concept-wise, different from the past two groups that we've done, Red Velvet's concept has been very clear from the beginning. They have a red side and they have a velvet side, and then sometimes they might mix the two together. Because that vision was clear from the very beginning, like even when they're training and preparing for debut, like that prepared them more for the concept that they're going to do in the future, which is why whenever they like have a new song or like are trying a different concept for a new song, it never felt as awkward to me. Especially lately in the past few years, they've been doing like the combined Red Velvet together concept on a spectrum of red to velvet, the combined Red Velvet songs had been like more towards the red side, but I was saying Psycho felt like it was supposed to be like the start of a new era of Red Velvet, because it was a Red Velvet style song, but more on the spectrum towards Velvet.
Which I guess it kind of is. I mean, it's the finale, so it's like,
Yeah, let's
move on.
And the reason why I feel like their combined Red Velvet sound is more towards the Velvet side now is like you were talking about for dancing, like the age difference is a big thing. And like I feel like Yeri has fully grown into that maturity now. Like if you just scroll through her Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so I think it feels less awkward embracing that Velvet side now, because when I'm thinking about like when they had Automatic as their Velvet song, I was like, I think this is a great song, but I feel a little bit uncomfortable seeing like a very young Yeri do this style.
Yeah, or like when they did Be Natural before they added Yeri, like I cannot see them having her do that song.
Yeah.
When she was that young. Speaking of Yeri, another thing we talked about, and I think one of the biggest member image changes that we've seen is definitely in Joy. It's kind of similar to what we said last week too, actually. I think adding Yeri really freed up Joy to grow into like the person that we know she is today. If Joy had stayed the maknae, there are certain things that she has to fulfill in that role. Like she needs to be really cute and she needs to be the baby, and like she can't really evolve into this like we've all seen, like we know
we know
seen her Instagram, we know. But yeah, I feel like it really freed her up to embrace that, and it really changed her image from debut. Like thinking about Happiness, she's such a baby in that, even though she was 18.
Yeah.
So like it's not like she was actually a baby, but like that's kind of how they styled her. And then like just thinking about Psycho that we just watched, I'm like, wow. Whereas Yeri was already young, and so she really did get to grow up, and now she has kind of transitioned into this more like mature young adult.
Yeah. Like it was more of a natural thing than like an image or concept that was forced on because oh, it's the maknae, the youngest member, so you have to do this and like grow into this.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So in case you couldn't tell from this video, we really, really love Red Velvet and have been following them essentially since the very beginning.
Yep.
Oh god, I'm getting emotional because like they're probably gonna have to come back soon because Wendy is all better now. And I just, okay, anyways, yeah, so that's basically all that we had to say to comment on Red Velvet's growth from 2014 to, I guess, 2019, end of 2019.
Obviously we did not hit everything. There's just way too much.
But feel free to comment down below if you share similar thoughts, any of your own thoughts, if you disagree with us, all that jazz. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video and also adore Red Velvet, then please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and